This Quarry achievement took me 3 years to get, and it's not the reason you're thinking. The Quarry is a game that requires a plethora of playthroughs in order to 100%, mainly because there are certain things you can't do in the same run. That being said, the achievement that took me 3 years to get was Hard Pass, which requires you to refuse Eliza's help. The problem with this achievement is that you need to get a tarot card in majority of the chapters, otherwise you won't get this achievement even if you refuse her help every time you get a tarot card. For example, if I only get a tarot card in chapter 1 and then I refuse her help, I won't get it. But if I get tarot cards in 10 different chapters and refuse her help in all 10, I'll get it. I don't know how I haven't gotten this one yet, but let's just get into this. We're starting off in chapter 2 because I have a save file that I load from this point every time I play the game, just because I don't want to simply start a new run every single time, because I think the prologue and the first chapter drag a little bit. However, I did previously get one tarot card in the prologue and one in chapter 1. So we start off with Nick and Abby flirting it up in the woods. If you take this specific path, Rocky Road, you'll get the Hanged Man tarot card. There we go. Jesus. It's worth mentioning that majority of these are missable. Nick and Abby run into some hogs, and Nick almost gets mauled by one, but gets to take a peek at her goods instead.
How do you know it was the mommy pig?
I got a pretty good look.
Nick and Jacob have a shooting competition for some peanut butter pops, but Caitlin shows them up, and afterwards the group starts a game of Truth or Dare, where things go a little bit south. Emma, Jacob's summer fling, ends up kissing Nick, and both Abby and Jacob get upset. Abby runs off into the woods, and that's where we get another tarot card, the Tower. Nick goes to check on her, and I chose to confront Nick about the kiss with Emma. Turns out Nick just wanted to make Jacob jealous. Still pretty fucked either way. The two share a moment in the woods when they end up hearing some sounds. This is where we encounter our first taste of the naked man beast. Nick gets absolutely mauled by it and should be a goner, but a hunter shoots the beast. I chose to help Nick, and the beast almost gets Abby, but the hunter shoots it again. Spoiler alert, even though this game is years old, the beasts are werewolves. While all this is happening, Jacob and Emma decide to skinny dip in the lake. But it's worth it because we find a tarot card, the Star. Hurricane Jacob makes an entrance in the water, and oh my god, these scenes with them are so cringe.
This, a female in need? Fear not, fragile thing, for Hurricane Jake is here! Cannonball!
Jacob hears Abby scream and tries to check it out, but leaves Emma in the lake alone. Abby comes back to camp, and Ryan goes after Nick in the forest. Hunter guy gets Nick, but we shoot him and take him back to camp. Jacob steps in a trap, and the same hunter guy finds him, but luckily Jacob isn't bit, so he's just rewarded with a bunch of blood on his face. Obviously, at the end of the chapter, we choose to not get any help from Eliza. Nick is in pretty bad shape at camp, and Dylan thinks that they should amputate Nick's leg. Playing as Ryan, I asked him why we would do that, even though I know that that does stop the infection. Personally, I don't like amputating friends' limbs.
Why would we do that?
I don't know, man. Look at that black stuff.
What do you think it is?
Do I look like a doctor?
So, absolutely not. We heard some noises in the bushes, and it turned out to be naked Jacob hiding. So make sure you don't shoot that bush. Jacob tries to take Ryan's gun to help Emma, and they get into a little tussle. I personally can't stand Jacob, so I let him hit himself in the head with it, just because he low-key pisses me off. Jacob goes to find Emma, and we get to play as Emma while she's vlogging. As soon as we get control of Emma, we turn around, go to the dock, and we find the Magician Tarot card. We go up to the treehouse after a little bit of a yap fest, I should say, and we end up running into another werewolf, which is Max from the prologue. Meanwhile, at the lodge, we get a cutscene where we can find the Strength Tarot card, but we only see it for a few seconds before it's gone for good, and there's no going back, so make sure you're paying attention here. Dylan and Ryan try to call the cops, but the line is cut. Dylan found another gun that we end up leaving with Caitlin because she needs to defend herself just in case she runs into anything. Back at the treehouse, I chose to speed up while reeling the zipline in, and Emma barely makes it off the island before the werewolf gets her. That marks the end of this chapter, and once again, we're obviously saying no to getting help from Eliza. In the next chapter, Caitlin runs into the hunter dude, and he takes her gun. Nick and Abby are downstairs, and Nick seems to be acting a little bit weird.
Well, did you want a little bit more to happen?
Dude, are you dumb?
Oh my god.
Sorry.
With the rising threat of the hunter dude, the three leave the cabin through the window and go to the radio shack to meet up with Dylan and Ryan. Dylan and Ryan head to the radio hut to try and get help. We find two tarot cards here, the Devil and the Hermit. In the radio hut, there's a werewolf that ends up approaching, and Abby, Caitlin, and Nick also approach, but Ryan warns them off to hide.
Hold the button. Caitlin, get into a building now. Do not come up here. There's an animal outside the radio hut. Just get into a cabin now. Go!
I chose to be supportive of Nick, who wanted to make a feedback loop to scare off the wolf, but the werewolf pulled the wire, and when Dylan tried to fix it, his arm got grabbed. So much for being supportive. He wanted me to cut off his arm, and I chose not to. I cut off his hand literally every other time I played this game because I thought I had no other choice, but I mean, save his limb if you can. Ryan got the feedback loop to work, and we scared off the werewolf successfully. The group sees a woman shoot someone or something, and they check it out. When they get to the pool where the dead thing is, they see that it's just a girl, who turns out to be Chris Hackett's daughter. But she was really a werewolf, and she turned back to her human form once she got killed. Once again, I refuse Eliza's help in this chapter. In the next chapter, we control Jacob, and we continue to look for Emma. We find the Justice card right before running into Emma, who punches him.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
They discuss the threat of the giant creature right before running into it themselves. While running away, Jacob knocks Emma off the bridge. I chose to run instead of hide, and Jacob gets his karma by stepping in a bear trap. Hunter Dude gets him, and back at the pool, Nick is still acting a little bit weird.
Hey.
Come here.
Ugh, Nick, what the hell? Ugh, get off. Ugh, watch out. I said get off.
So Abby pushes him in the pool. He acts like a cat who fell into the bathtub, and we get him inside of the pool house. In the pool house, we find the moon, and Nick attacks Abby, so we decide to shoot him because quite literally, Abby gets killed if we don't. So he turns into a werewolf, and he runs. We make it back to the lodge as Emma, after choosing not to run when we're by the tree. More hunter dudes found us, but we made it back anyways. Emma finds nobody at the lodge, so she goes into the car to hide. Somebody knocks on the pool house door, and it turns out to be Laura, who's Max's girlfriend from the prologue, who never showed up for their job this summer at the camp. It's because they got attacked by a werewolf in the prologue, which I don't show, which is why Max is a werewolf. We choose to let her in the pool house, which leads to the end of the chapter, where I once again say no to Eliza's help. We find out that Laura and Max were held up in a jail cell by Travie Patty, the sheriff of the town, for the whole summer. Travie interrogates both of them, and for the most part, I try to be compliant with him, because he's just misunderstood, trust me. I find the world card in the jail cell, and we find a spoon and a loose brick, which can be used later to hide, I think, a sedative, if you choose to go down that path. Max thinks what attacked him was a werewolf, and, well, he's right. Ryan doesn't believe Laura's story, but it's true. Travie handcuffs Laura to the radiator to show her Max's transformation, but she gets too close and Max gets her eye. She wanted to be a vet, so there goes that. She patches herself up, and we find the Chariot Tarot card. I went back to the cell, and when Travie Patty comes back, he seems to be nice and explains the whole werewolf thing. And he wants her to help him end the so-called curse, because lo and behold, he's Chris Hackett's brother, and Chris is the one who bit Max. To end the curse, they need to kill the one who bit Chris, simply to cure Max. They could kill Chris, which is what Laura wants to do. Laura and Max plot an escape, and it goes pretty well. Laura gets Travie's gun, locks him in the cell, and then they collect silver rounds and head back to camp to kill Chris. Laura reveals that she got bit by Max and now needs to kill Chris to cure them both. I chose to show the group my bite, and Ryan yoinks my gun. She explains why she needs to kill Chris, but Ryan loves Chris and is apprehensive. We also find out that the hunters locked Jacob in a cage in their house. Once again, I chose to refuse Eliza's help at the end of the chapter. Laura explains the silver bullet situation to them, and Caitlin gets Ryan to calm down and lower his gun off Laura. Ryan goes with Laura to find Chris, and I chose to be friendly to her as Ryan because I know Laura's in the right anyways. They go to the spooky Hackett house, and they end up falling through the ground into a, now get ready for this, quarry. Laura seems to be turning into a werewolf faster because now her eyes are all yellow, and the one Max scratched off is healed completely. In the quarry, we find the first card, the Lovers. Laura and Ryan start to be friendly towards each other, and Ryan tells Laura that both Caitlin and Dylan have the hots for him. But he's not being smug about it. See?
Yeah, she has the hots for me. Dylan does too.
Oh, modesty, thy name is Ryan.
I'm not being smug about it, it's just a fact. They're not exactly secretive about it.
Laura breaks a plank down with her bare hands, and we find the Wheel of Fortune card. Meanwhile, at the lodge, Dylan, Caitlin, and Abby find Emma in the car, but Emma sprays Dylan with mace by accident. Oh wait, that's not mace.
I'm so sorry. Dylan, I am so sorry. I didn't know it was you. I was really scared and I thought
It's not mace.
What?
Air freshener.
Back at the Hackett house, we find the Empress and Emperor cards as Ryan before we find Jacob. I chose to free Jacob even though I think he's an asshat, and successfully freed him without letting the wolf out. Laura and Ryan found a trapdoor to the house and hear Grandma Hackett crashing out about her granddaughter, Kaylee Hackett, the one whose body was in the pool, being killed by Laura. The chapter ends with Grandma Hackett hearing Laura and opening the trapdoor and yoinking her by the ponytail. We say no one more time to Eliza's help, and we're finally awarded with the Hard Pass achievement.
Choice is, and always has been,
Let's go.
yours to make.
Final achievement in the Quarry. Refused Eliza's help. That's like my 5th fucking playthrough. Yeah, I've played way too many playthroughs of this game at this point, so with that achievement being done, the game is getting uninstalled. With that being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'm working on better and more lengthy videos very soon. I just wanted to get something quick out for you guys, and I'm also going to start streaming myself working on these games on Twitch, so make sure to follow me there. But with that being said, I hope to see you all in the next one.